I'm Mejer, and as an attorney, I help people with their immigration and criminal issues like DUIs. Why, you ask? Because criminal issues can and do impact your immigration goals. So keep watching to find out more about how and what you could do to protect yourself.
Calificas para ser legal, quieres saber, solo llama al abogado Andrés Mejer.
So let's start. What is a DUI? Well, look, every state has its own definition. New Jersey statute is 39:4-50. That's where they defined what is driving under the influence. Now, in order to be convicted in New Jersey, state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt three things. You're operating a motorized vehicle. So operating generally means you're sitting in the driver's seat and the ignition is on. Now, it used to be that the key is in the ignition. Nowadays, you can just press a button. So you're operating a motorized vehicle. That could be a car, a boat, electronic bike. So let's make it simple. Operating a car on a public road while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Now, alcohol, they measure the level of your alcohol in your blood. You can have a drink and drive. That's not a problem. What you can't do is have more than the legal limit, which is 0.08 alcohol, in which case you are drunk. You can drink and drive, you just can't drive drunk. Make sense? I hope so. It's been a long day. So, state has to prove all three. Let me give you an example. We had a client passed out drunk in front of a liquor store. I mean, I saw the video. You know, the officer comes in, wakes him up. He couldn't even stand by himself. He was smashed. Police arrested him, charged him with DUI. He came to us. Guess what? He wasn't convicted. How, do you ask? Well, the video only showed that he was drunk. It didn't show that he drove the car, or better yet, that he operated the car. When the officer came in, the keys were not in the ignition and the car was not on. It could be he had a lot of alcohol, drove to the liquor store and passed out, or it could be he drove to the liquor store, had a lot of alcohol, passed out, but wasn't driving. Maybe he never drove drunk. Police couldn't prove it. Now imagine it was the middle of winter and he was freezing. He turns the -5 degrees below. He turns on the ignition, puts the heat on, and passes out. Now he would be guilty because he's operating the car. So, but you can be convicted of a DUI even without having any alcohol. Like I said, under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Emphasis on drugs here. So marijuana or even prescription medicine. You imagine you're involved in a car accident. You have back pain. Doctor gives you medication. You take it. Officer pulls you over. Says, "Officer, I haven't had anything to drink," and you're stumbling and you're impaired. You're under the influence of that drug. If you yourself had caused an accident, it's not the other person didn't take your medicine under that condition. You did. So you would be guilty. Now, under the influence of drugs is a particular big problem if you're not a U.S. citizen, because drug possession is a federal crime, even if it isn't a crime in your state. Imagine Colorado. In most circumstances, drug possession results in your deportation, even if you're a green card holder. Now, what do you do if you're stopped for DUI, or you're stopped and you think the officer might charge you with DUI because you might have had some alcohol? Show your red card. We've talked about this in the past. This card could, I'm not going to say it's going to save your life. It might, but I can't promise that. I'm an attorney after all, legal disclaimer. But what I can tell you is you're going to know your rights, and the card will prevent you from volunteering information that the officer could use against you. If you want a copy of the red card, it has your rights on it. You don't have to memorize it. It's in English and in Spanish. It has our phone number on it. If you want it, message us or give us a call. If you're in the state of New Jersey, I'll mail it out to you. If you're outside the state of New Jersey, I will send you electronic file. I'm not going to mail it out of state. You can always come to our office to pick it up. That's never a problem. So, officer pulls you over. You don't have your red card. You don't know your rights. You don't say the right things. And let's be honest, you had one too many to drink. The officer will almost always ask you something like, have you been drinking tonight? Or they'll just assume you did and say, how much have you drank tonight? Now, don't lie, but don't tell the truth. I know, that's a catch-22, right? Instead, because you have your red card, I won't answer any question without my attorney present. Stops the investigation, and again, you're not volunteering information that they could use against you. If the officer arrests you, he will force you to give a breath sample, not physically. But he'll tell you more than once, are you refusing? It is a separate crime, because it is a separate crime. You can't refuse to give a breath sample when the officer arrests you for driving under the influence. You can refuse to do other tests, but not to give a breath sample. What other tests? Listen, it would be nice if when the officer pulls you over that says, hey, do you mind stepping outside the car? Would you mind doing some tests for us that I think will prove that you're drunk? You don't have to take them, but would you do me the favor and take these exams? No way an officer's going to do that. Instead, what do they tell you? Step outside, we're going to do some tests. They don't give you the option to say no, but you can. They just don't tell you that. You can refuse. Now, you'll likely be arrested if you refuse. But look, let's be honest. If you're under the influence, if you had drugs or alcohol, you're not going to pass the test. You're just giving them ammunition that they're going to use to arrest you. You're better off not doing it. Many people can't pass those tests even if they're sober, particularly if you have certain injuries like to your ankles, knees, hips, balance issues, you're overweight or emphysemic, you smoke too much and you have problems breathing. There's a variety of impairments that could prevent you from successfully completing the tests. If you do, tell the officer, listen, I just had a hip replacement. I can't do the test. Now, if you lie about it, that's a different story. If you're 22 and have a hip replacement, that's kind of hard to believe. But 62 or 52, maybe. So if you have any questions, give us a call. Subscribe to our channel. We're here for you. Thank you very much. I'm Mejer. Until next time.